You had a question standing out there when
I
when
did
ran
have a
out of
question.
voice.
Let me make you look beautiful.
Okay,
There, that's easy.
okay. And you asked what the difficulties were on playtesting this.
Yeah.
Well, the big difficulty was that it was my first game design. I was making everything up as I went along. In some ways, that may have freed me to be outside the box because I didn't have a box yet. Like I said, making it up as I went along.
What were the war games that influenced you coming into Ogre?
The SPI hex-style war games that I spent a lot of time in college playing those.
When did you first start messing around with design?
Of course, we always fooled with variants after we played an SPI game. What happens if I do a little bit more, a little bit less? What happens if the Great Redoubt is a little bit greater? But it wasn't until after I left college that I really started trying to do things.
Did you shop Ogre around to various publishers?
Oh, no. I had been working as a contract developer with metagaming, and Howard Thompson said, I have this idea for doing little bitty games. Can you design a game to these tiny specifications? Apparently so, but it's bigger now.
They were saying that it's for the fans, this new one.
Yeah, very much. You saw the stack of cardboard there. You couldn't sell those for $100 and make money.
Now, if you do Car Wars in a big box set, will you still be doing that for the fans, or will you be working a little bit more within a budget?
Car Wars will be within a budget. It will not be in such a huge box because it turns out the drawbacks of the huge box are significant. It was fun to do once. I'm glad we did it. Now we've been there. And Car Wars will be in one or more reasonably sized boxes.
Did that come out just after Road Warrior, or where was that?
Oh no, that was long before Road Warrior. It was after Mad Max. And Mad Max doesn't really have any car combat in it. It has a really badass guy driving a car.
So what were the influences on Car Wars?
Harlan Ellison, Alan Dean Foster, Chad Irby, my co-author on the game, who showed up one day very, very out of sorts after riding his motorcycle in traffic and said, should do a game where the motorcycles can shoot back. The idea of arming cars is something that seems very basic to the adolescent psyche, including some of our old adolescents here.
Is Steve going to kickstart some other games?
We're definitely considering it, and we hope to come back with a better plan for other. I'm not going to say Car Wars, but I just say Car Wars. Yeah, we'll come back with a better plan.
Yeah. Have you designed any games yourself?
I'm actually working on some of the expansions for Ogre right now.
When did you start role-playing?
Oh, it was in college. It was with very early D&D, maybe 73.
What was it about your own role-playing system that you thought you could do different or better?
I wanted something that was more about role-playing and less about die rolling. And specifically, I really wanted to empower a variety of character creations.
Could you talk about game as storytelling and players' emotional involvement with that story?
That is really, I think, why the game has lasted, because it does invite you to role-play. I like to say that everything is role-playing. Even chess players are role-playing, although it has nothing to do with the game. They're role-playing all-powerful psychos and trying to impress each other. But Monopoly is role-playing. You're playing the mad capitalist. An Ogre is two different role-plays. If you take the Defender, then you are small, crunchy humans bravely defending against a monster that seems unstoppable, and you know that most of you will die. The best you can expect is that most of you will die. And if you're the Ogre, you're killing. You're out there running over things, and it's all right because you're a machine, you're doing your job.
This is Ogre. So that's Steve, the game designer. He's playing 12 guys at once, like a chess grandmaster. It's totally unfair because he designed the game. So we've got 12 participants, victims, I mean. They're actually doing quite well, and they're having a great time. So the game is that you've got one huge monster tank right here, the Ogre, and it's trying to attack this whole bunch of little guys, infantry and armor units, and he's trying to kill the command posts. In the command post, there's a colonel. He's shaking his boots, he's sweating buckets, he's hoping his guys can stop the monster before it gets there. That's Ogre.
I think that games can socialize you better. They can teach you to work with people. You can make a certain argument that games are good for problem solving, but to me, they teach you group problem solving. I'm not saying that you don't learn anything from playing a head-to-head tactical war game, but it's not something that you carry into your life as much as the experience of working with other people to solve a problem in an RPG.
I knocked out all of this, and I knocked out this, and this is good because he can't shoot me anymore. And this is good because it slows him down.
Is this your first time with Ogre? Or?
Yeah, first time with Ogre, but I've been playing Steve Jackson's game probably since I was 7.
Okay. How old are you now?
11.
Mostly we just use the games with the kids to help teach them, like Chicky Try teaches them geography. There's a lot of games that teach them math and how to compromise and relate to other people in a mature way too. So I think that helps the kids a lot with their social skills and their school skills.
And how do you start thinking about how an idea might take shape as a game?
Write something down, at least a mechanic, if not all the mechanics of the game, and try it. See what it feels like.
There are different parts of game designing. There's the solitary part and there's also the playtest part.
Actually, I think my very favorite part is the part that comes after the first round of playtest. When you go back to the original lump of clay that you wrote down and you take people's responses and you start trying to cut away everything that doesn't look like an elephant. It's always bloated at some point in the middle, and it gets shorter as it goes to the end.
When you have a huge hit like Munchkin, did it transform your way of thinking, or?
It slowly crowded out a lot of the game development that we were doing, and then we started pushing back on that and making sure that we did some other things anyhow. On the one hand, Munchkin is 70% of our business, and it's a whole lot of fun to do. It's not as though we were chained to a wheel for 70%. On the other hand, we don't want to be the Munchkin-only company. It's tension. It always is. What do I want to work on today? If it's just about money, the thing to do would be to work on Munchkin all the time. And if it was just about, oh, I must follow my muse wherever she leads, then Munchkin would get neglected, and I would be writing things that people might or might not want to play. Ogre also pushed everything out of the way, just because the project got so big. Will be a while catching up.
Do you still get game night?
Not as much as I did. There's like something over the last year or so that's consumed a lot of my time and not allowed me to really go out and play as many games as I'd like to. But maybe after October, November, once we've shipped the game.
Down to a 2 only for the one in front of me, and then shooting at the big one. Killed it. That's me.
Killed it? No. He killed it, okay.
Do you have other designers working for you?
Yes. I've been working with other designers one way or another since the first project I did. Design and development are not the same thing, but usually if you do one, you also do some of the other. Design is coming up with a game, and development is making it work. Making it balanced, making it comprehensible so that everybody will play it the same, rather than constantly fighting about the rules, making it fun to play more than once. You have to play test some before you can start development, but then you should send it back to play test and keep circling back until it's good.
Yes, it's hard to go from a good concept to a good game.
What are some of the challenges?
The biggest one is actually knowing when to listen to your playtesters. There's actually a lot of ego in game design because you visualize something, you think you know exactly how it works, you understand your game entirely, the people around you may not get it.
Come on.
Treads.
Oh yeah,
Here we go. 2 treads.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 infantry.
You have playtesters you trust, and you've got to listen to them. Because if they're telling you, like, this mechanic does not work, or I don't understand this, the problem's probably in the rules and not them.
I hope you can make a comeback. I'm kind of rooting for you, and I'm kind of rooting for me, so it's really hard to decide.
That's fair. Well, you don't have to come back. I'm not gone yet.
You need an editor. I mean, when you're writing rules or writing anything, you know what you're thinking, you know what you want to say. You may not have said that.
Hey guys, table 4, just 1.
1, 2, 3.
Do you ever sit down with other designers and talk about game design?
My experience is we tend to talk more about the final outcome and sometimes trivial things about the final outcome than the process. And I suspect that's because we're all really doing it differently.
Well, we also need to make sure you can't shoot.
Spend 1 to kill that one. 2, 3. It's not an evaporation. He's dead.
How do you think your process might differ from other people's?
I almost always start with a theme, and then I go, how can I depict that theme? Many designers, the European school, which has many American proponents, but it's Eurogame style design, seems to be you come up with a mechanic and you might spend quite a bit of time polishing that mechanic before you decide what the game's about.
Howitzer on treads. Oh my lord.
Gosh! We're sort of knocked out.
He did a lot of damage. He rolled a bunch of 6s there and did a lot of damage.
I hate not to kill things, but I'm going to go for the sure win by moving 2.
He's going to the sure win. Seriously? Really? Seriously?
Move 1, 2, destroy the command post. Then if we were to keep going, I would see if I could get that. Not holding my breath. Okay, good one.
That's me.
I'm glad you still like it, after all this time. Okay. And you live. No cooties.
How'd you do?
Daniel may be counting. I know that I lost 2. I think there was a third.
How much of an advantage do you have just having designed the game, or is it just the hours playing?
It's not designing. That doesn't really make you better at anything but a horribly complex game. Thank you that you've left Easter eggs in. But playing for 30 years helps.